Yo, what's poppin', my guys? It is your boy Ash Lee, and today we are bringing you Season 3, Week 3 of the IBA. Yeah, that's right. This week we are playing Eric, coach of the Reno Regis, which is I'm pretty sure that's the team name. He has a really tight intro. You should definitely check out his channel. He has good comms, and wow, that's super fucking lame that I just called him comms. He's got great commentary, and I don't know, I really love the intro to his videos. I immediately was impressed. So definitely go check him out. He's got good stuff. And definitely someone I'm scared of battling. I'm obviously, as you guys know, for those of you that are on the channel, I've not been. So basically anybody that I've never played before, I'm very intimidated by playing them because I don't know what kind of play style they have. I don't know how good they are compared to the people that I have played based on my own experience. Yada, 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 yada. So obviously I'm very, very nervous about this game, but I'm hoping, praying that we can pull out a win here after we got absolutely embarrassed last week by Deneki. So let's go ahead and talk. These Toxic Orb, Defog, Stealth Rock, Roost, and Earthquake. Now, this guy right here is great for handling mons. Like, I'm not going to go through his whole team because I don't have it pulled up right now and I'm a little crunched for time. But it handles Charizard X. It does good damage to Domfan and Xurkitree. Fur Coat on Persian sucks, and it doesn't do a whole lot to Manaphy and Skarmory, but it does a lot of damage to the rest of his team and serves as a good switch in to pretty much all of those Pokemon, in my opinion. So I like the fact that it has Toxic Orb because that means that the Xurkitree can't go for something like Z Hypnosis. Xurkitree is one of his Z-Mons, so that would definitely be worrisome if he were to throw off a Z Hypnosis and put something like my Scolipede or my Infernape to sleep. That would be really bad. So it's just always a nice switch in. Yeah, HP Ice is going to do a lot of damage, but after I've scouted for that, I can bounce around into some of my other Pokemon to help a lot with that, as well as having some other switch ins to Xurkitree as well, such as I guess I'll talk about it later. I'm going through the order that I have it written down, but yeah, that is my Gliscor set. It's designed to throw up rocks, keep rocks away, get the Roost up, preserve its health, and basically just try and wall this Charizard and this Domfan, and just basically keep up some hazard pressure. Keep forcing this Skarmory to come in, because I have a lot of mons that can do good damage to Skarmory, and once that Skarmory is gone, it makes it a lot easier for my Gliscor to put in work especially with the rocks chip that people will come getting in. So definitely like Gliscor on this team. Next up we have Swish the Hoopa Unbound. This boy has Drain Punch, Hyperspace Fury, Gunk Shot, and Fire Punch with the Choice Band items. So this thing is basically going to be laying down some serious damage. I didn't really feel the need to pass this week. His team overall isn't super quick. He does have boosting options with Charizard and Xurkitree, but I felt like I had good answers to those two mons, so I didn't feel like it was necessary to run Speed Pass to beat him. Hoopa outsped the things that I needed it to, such as Skarmory and Donphan, in order to just lay off some serious damage and basically force the switch if he wants to keep one of his defensive walls. So that's all this set was meant to do. Drain Punch obviously hits a lot of his team for neutral or super effective. It's very nice for that Persian in particular. Hyperspace Fury isn't really hitting anything for super effective damage, but it is stab base 100 coming off of an insane, I can't remember what its attack stat was, but this was 252 max attack adamant. So this is pretty much as strong of a Hoopa as you're gonna have with the Choice Band that isn't boosted by some sort of Swords Dance Pass or Power Up Punch or anything crazy like that. It's also got Gunk Shot to hit his fairy type, which he did not end up bringing. I can't remember what it was, but a little bit of a wasted move spot there, as well as the Fire Punch to really put some damage in on this Skarmory, because hey man, that thing is a definite problem. But next up, we have Harden, our Mega Aerodactyl. Unnerve is the ability, Aerial Ace, Aqua Tail, Fire Fang, and Stone Edge. I brought Aqua Tail for Donphan. In retrospect, I kind of wish that I had brought Taunt, because that would be very nice for the Skarmory. It would be very nice for the Persian. It'd be super nice to try and stop the Manaphy from setting up, unless it's something like Z Rain Dance. The same with the Xurkitree, unless it's something like Z Hypnosis. But even after a Z Hypnosis, if it's taunted, it can't set up a Tail Glow, so that's really nice. But that would have helped out a lot against his team, but I brought Aquatail for the Donphan, so I just felt like that Donphan would be the easiest switch into Aerodactyl out of everything on his team, and then a well-timed Aquatail could really do a ton of damage in that thing, and maybe force him to switch into Manaphy to take some chip damage, because that Manaphy is definitely a problem for my team. But this is a pretty speedy Aerodactyl. It outspeeds everything on his team on boosted, and is still able to run Adamant, which was very, very nice. But yeah, big fan of Mega Aerodactyl so far. I really like it. Hopefully it gets to put in some work this week, because we've yet to really put in the work with it. Next up, we have Bape the Infernape. This is Choice Scarf, Blaze with Mach Punch, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, and Close Combat. Probably should have run Iron Fist, but didn't even think about it, so it was Blaze this week. Nice if we came in on Rocks or something like that, I guess. I'm 192 Jolly, so this Choice Scarf outspeeds everything on his team at +1, I'm fairly certain. And just serves as a nice pivot mon, as well as if we can get rid of that Manaphy and get some good damage in on that Donphan. Actually, wait, I think I changed Mach Punch to Close Combat. No, never mind, I'm sorry. Close Combat is the last move. I'm an idiot. But yeah, because spoiler alert, I know I used Close Combat in the battle at some point. But 252 attack, 64 on HP. Pretty standard Infernape set. It just puts in good work, lets me outspeed. Great for a late game sweep because it's super strong. Not much else to say about it. Next, we have Slippery Stare, our boy Electros with the Assault Vest. Now, this is max special attack, modest, max HP, just because I needed it to hit as hard as possible, and I wanted to put everything else into the HP because it pretty much lived everything that I needed it to live. It handles Charizard okay. It handles the Donphan very well. It walls the shit out of Xurkitree and Manaphy, as well as just really scaring out this Skarmory. So, especially because I'm running Giga Drain with HP Ice, Discharge, and Volt Switch, I'm definitely able to threaten his entire team, especially because we can threaten that Donphan with the Giga Drain and get our health back up, which is really nice to have some sort of recovery on this Electros. So, I've really been happy with Electros so far this season. I'm a huge fan of this Pokemon. Anyway, sorry, we're running a little bit long on the descriptions of the Mon, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on into Lotto the Scolipede. This boy is Expert Belt, Speed Boost, Swords Dance, Earthquake, Mega Horn, and Rock Slide. We have enough speed to outspeed, I'm pretty sure, the Manaphy or the Charizard just normally. No, yeah, the both of them, because that's base 100. I'm pretty sure they max out at 328. So I think I'm 329. I have screenshots of my things because Showdown makes me lag so much, so I can't check. But fairly certain I'm running 329 speed. Adamant with 96 in health. The Expert Belt really is just going to help me secure kills on mons like Xurkitree if he has some boost. It helps me kill Charizard, as well as a couple more mons that he didn't bring, like Swellow and I think something else I was trying to hit with one of these moves. But basically, I'm trying to save this Scolipede for the late game, because once it outspeeds everything, just look at his team. Once I get rid of this Skarmory, what on his team stops a +2 Scolipede? It's really all about hitting moves, because Alolan Persian dies to Mega Horn, Manaphy dies to Mega Horn, this Xurkitree dies to Earthquake, Donphan dies to Earthquake, and Zard dies to Earthquake. So, once we get at +1, as long as there isn't anything setting up in our face, I think this game is pretty much ours, provided we hit some Mega Horns. But I really am trying to play the chip game at first. I'm very scared of this Charizard setting up and getting out of hand, or the Manaphy setting up and getting out of hand. The Alolan Persian is going to make it very hard to set up. It's like, for example, if we miss a Mega Horn and he gets the Parting Shot off, that could be really bad for us, because we can no longer secure some of the KOs that we need to. Ooh, man, his team is definitely scary. We also have the ability for Skarmory to live a hit. Like, that's why I can't sit up until this Skarmory is gone, because it has the ability to carry Whirlwind. It can have Brave Bird, and it just has so many options, as well as being physically defensive and tanking everything that I've got. So that's enough talking about the team that we brought. We are just going to hop right into this game and get it started. So he is going to lead off Alolan Persian, as we are going to lead off Infernapes. So this is a perfect opportunity to get a big U-turn off, which puts this Persian down at 22%, which is absolutely great for me. I'm just going to go right here into Slippery Stare. I don't really care that much if he goes for a parting shot. This is my pivot mon, as he just fires off a U-turn and gets out of there. He did not want to deal with this Infernape. Probably, I guess that was a win-lose there. Like he did kind of, it sucks getting his Persian that low, but it did allow him to switch out into this Zard right here. So I know I can live anything this Zard wants to do, and I can just Volt Switch out on it. If it decides to set up, I can just go into my, I can't remember if I go into Infernape or Aerodactyl, but if he attacks me, I can live and switch out. If he sets up, I know that he sets up, and I can go, oh yeah, I go right here into Gliscor because it can tank everything and knock him out with an Earthquake. So it allows me to get my Toxic Orb off, which is really, really nice. If he had Will-O-Wisp or something like that, like if he was running bulky Dragon Dance Zard, I don't know why he would run Will-O-Wisp with DD Zard, but hey, anything can happen. I decided to get my rocks up here. I know that this basically just invites the Skarmory in, but I want to force this Skarmory to defog so that I can get the free switch in, as you can see, into Hoopa Unbound. So yes, he does set his Stealth Rocks up, but I'm able to fire off a huge Hyperspace Fury, 2-hit KOing this Skarmory, as he's just going to Whirlwind. He is not playing any games. He doesn't want me to Nasty Plot or something. I am going to get Whirlwinded out into my Aerodactyl, and here I'm looking at my calcs, and I just fire off a Fire Fang. There's always the chance to get the flinch or the burn, so we just go ahead and go for it, and he is just going to roost that damage off. So now for here, for some reason, he has an absolute free roost. I don't know why I predicted him to go out into Domfan, but I did, as he is just going to shrug that off and roost pretty much all the way back up to full. I think all the way to full with leftovers. No, sorry, up at 97%. So we're just going to go for the Fire Fang again, trying to get him to Whirlwind us out. It's pretty clear that he doesn't have any damage doing moves here, unless he's very much so preserving them. And I luckily get flipped out into my Infernape. That's really nice. It would have sucked to gone out to my Scolipede and taken rocks. But he's just going to go straight here into Domfan, as I'm going to close combat and get the critical hit. So that's definitely unfortunate for him, because I can stay in here and fire off another close combat. I don't really know why I didn't. I decided just to switch right here into my Electros, but oh well, he gets his rocks back up, and I am just going to Giga Drain, hoping that he stayed in, maybe trying to fire off a Stone Edge or something, but it's clear that he doesn't have anything like that, because he just bounces out. Here I'm able to tank the Dragon Claw and get the Volt Switch. I do get a crit on that Volt Switch, which is unfortunate, but because he didn't set up, I can definitely just go right out here into Gliscor and get my rocks up really, really easily, because he is going to go for the roost. He calls my bluff there, which is a good play. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I can defog the rocks away. That was definitely the smarter option. Now that he's got his roost off, he's going to bounce right out into his Skarmory as I reset the rocks. Again, I don't really care if he defogs the rocks. This is basically just making him try to waste a turn, although when I look back on it, my team is way more weak to rocks than his is. His team can function with the rocks up, and he's got such a reliable defogger in Skarmory that if he really needs to bring his Zard in on the rocks, he can very easily just bring that thing in and defog pretty much whenever he wants. Here's Slow Showdown glitched a little bit. I'm not sure about this 100%, but Eric said that Showdown, I shouldn't have died to rocks there. I don't really care. I prefer, actually, because now I get the free switch into Infernape, and I can just knock out this Skarmory, which makes my Gliscor a lot more powerful. So he is going to go right here into Manaphy. I don't want to predict him to do anything crazy. I'm just going to switch out right here into my Hoopa, because I know I can tank a Surf, and I do. So in my mind, I can live another one, fire off something that's going to kill him, but I did not know that Manaphy got Signal Beam. He is just going to absolutely dunk on this Hoopa. I would have done 88% with Drain Punch to the Manaphy, and I would have gotten a lot of that health back. Oh wait, sorry, no, okay. Sorry, I really want to talk about this play before it goes through. So anyway, right there, I did not know that Manaphy got Signal Beam. He just absolutely dunked on me. But in my with the Drain Punch damage, if I had gotten it off, for example, if you weren't running Signal Beam, I could have easily tanked another Surf or an Ice Beam or anything like that, and fired off a big Drain Punch, getting all the health back that he did. Probably, and I can't remember the calc of how much health it was, so I'm not even going to try and guesstimate. But definitely getting a lot of health back and taking out really the only thing stopping an Infernape sweep at this point, because Domfan is so low. So, unfortunately, he did have the Signal Beam and knocked me out. So here, looking at my team, this is pretty much the only time I can imagine that I am getting in Scolipede scot-free. Because Xurkitree is super strong, and Scolipede will drop to a Thunderbolt, especially if it comes in on rocks. Persian can Parting Shot and bounce out of there and pivot into something. Zard can absolutely decimate my Scolipede if I'm not boosted up. I do outspeed it, but if he somehow manages to get a Dragon Dance up on me or something like that, then that's very, very unfortunate for my boy Scolipede, especially because he's at 100% right now. So I'm fairly certain he's at 100% or he's close. So anyway, getting distracted. Based on my calcs, I was calcing a timid max attack Manaphy. It's like a 50-50 roll for me to, I'm sorry, I can't remember the roll for me to live this, but it's a roll. It's a pretty significant roll in Eric's favor to live this. But in my mind, this was really the only option I had left. I needed to live a Surf and get a Defog off, because if this Manaphy had Psychic, like if this wasn't some sort of setup Manaphy, if this was just 4-attack Manaphy that just was supposed to come in, tank, and dish out damage, then I really could not go into Scolipede because it did enough damage to kill me with Stealth Rocks out. So my plan here is to go into Manaphy and find out he either A, has Ice Beam, or B, he has Psychic. I don't think he has both. So I go out into Gliscor. If he fires off the Ice Beam and kills my Gliscor, then I know that I can come in on rocks with Scolipede, live any one hit, Swords Dance, and knock this thing out. The only negative about that plan is that Manaphy is one of his Z users, but that was just a gamble I was willing to take if he had Ice Beam. But basically, if he surfed here, I found out, and I could try to play around it. I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. This was a scout play. Basically, he was either going to Ice Beam or surf here. If he Ice Beamed, I could bring in Scolipede safely with the rocks up, and if he surfed, then I could possibly do the same thing. It was really just a scout to see if he was carrying Ice Beam. I'd have been much more confident about Scolipede if I saw Ice Beam here. But as you're going to see, he fires off the Surf. We live on 3% and are able to get off a very, very, very clutch defog. Because now we still only know, I think, one of his moves. So there's possibilities he could be Heal Bell. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that he could be that could boost this man if he passed my team. But now I guarantee live a Surf and a Psychic and anything that he wants to go for. I live any one hit he wants to go for that's not a Z move. And as you can see, he's obviously not packing anything particular because we eat the Surf, we definitely outspeed this Manaphy, and we hit the Mega Horn, meaning that we knock it out, which is absolutely fantastic because of the chip damage we have on Persian. We don't have to worry about trying to hit a Mega Horn. The Donphan is low enough. Now here I was scared because I calced Ice Shard, and the Donphan set that they gave me ended up doing 33% minimum, which was, or 33% max, which was how much health we had left. So there's definitely a chance that Ice Shard killed if he was max attack or something like that. I can't remember, but he obviously wasn't, and we are able to just live and knock out the Donphan. We outspeed the Persian very easily and knock it out thanks to the big U-turn from the Infernape. And as you can see, at +2, this Charizard is not going to eat the Earthquake from our Scolipede. And now, see, the only thing that worries me now is if this is Z Hypnosis or it's Sash or something crazy. I'm sorry, not Z Hypnosis. If it was Sash, was really the only thing that could have really worried me, and even then, it was only differential. He would have gone into it way earlier if it was Sash, because it would have been able to stop the Scolipede sweep. And I don't know, man, but I was worried that that it would cut my differential a little bit, because now after that win, sorry, we'll have to press resume so we can see the. There we go. After that win, we are 2-1 at +0, which is really nice because it does suck to get 6-0'd, but at least we're at an even differential again. That was a big game for me personally. I was really excited to win that one. I know Eric's a great battler. Shout out to him. He played a great game. I I just brought Scolipede in at the right time. That Gliscor roll definitely sucked for him. It turned out that he was 220 timid, so the roll was slightly more in my favor to live it, but it definitely was a roll, and that does suck, because had he knocked it out, there's a good chance that he could have gotten a roll with Surf that would have knocked out my Scolipede. You know, only time can tell. I guess that phrase doesn't apply here at all. Fuck it, whatever. I'm tired as hell. I had a long day today, but great game to Eric. Had a really good battle, man. I hope he gets to play again sometime in the future, because it was very enjoyable, and he was a class act. Afterwards, he talked to me about the game a little bit, which I really appreciate. I'm always trying to learn from people, you know. But yeah, that's all we have for this week, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed everything. Next week we play Nova, which is a huge game, because Nova is one of my better friends in the Draft League community. We've been hanging out a lot lately, and it would be really nice to act out and have a big game versus Nova. So make sure y'all check it out. We have our game tomorrow for our first IBL game uploading, and we were playing against Lil Bigness and the Seattle Sizzlers. So be sure to look out for that. And I hope y'all enjoyed everything, man. Y'all have a good time. I'll see y'all later. Peace.